Oops.
Oh gosh.
And we're in.
Just like that.
What's
Like Bewitched.
happening,
Blink, blink.
Phil Morris, right?
And you are the good witch, Iona. The good one.
That's it. I'm the good witch.
I'm good. How are you doing? Happy Thursday,
Happy
all
Thursday.
who are
Happy
here.
Thursday, all of you. We're so glad to have people here and to be here in this moment. Pretty groovy. So, how was your week, Mr. Morris?
Oh, the week was it was a week, man. It was a week. It was fraught with challenge and some loss and some celebrations, and it was like a full life week. Now that I think about it, my daughter was in town with her guy Kevin Hodge and our friend Brett Agnew from Indiana, and they came in to play what we call the six man volleyball tournament. It's actually the Surf Festival. The Charlie Stackley six man is the jewel in the crown of the weekend. And my daughter's team, the Horny Unicornies. Yes, you heard it correctly. My daughter, the Horny Unicornies. They have been champions in the past, and they are very, very good. And they have a lot of great players, a lot of high caliber players, and like 40 women were at my house that were anywhere from 5'9" to 6'5". So a lot of
Wow.
tall women, a lot of athletic people, and their significant others or family and mom and whatever. There were a lot of people here, and it was great. And they played so beautifully, and they didn't win the tournament, and they didn't play as well as they wanted to, but they just had such a great energy, and they embody exactly what this weekend is about. And they play hard, they party hard, they laugh hard, they cheer hard. It was just epic. Really, really one of the best weekends I think I've experienced with them outside of winning the championships. So that was wonderful. And Jordan came in town, and our son,
Of
to
course.
hey David Peterson, to support and lend his voice. And he brought shorts for us, for all the guys who were part of the team that had the Horny Unicorny on them. He had them
And a
made
maid.
up, and
Oh,
I
it's
should have brought him out and
hilarious.
showed him to you. But it was great. It was really, really cool. So that was very very life affirming, because I had lost a friend earlier, and we'll talk about that when we get in the show. But yeah, we lost a very good friend of ours, Nicole Ryan, succumbed to MS after a few years of struggling with it. And my very good friend Jay is left, and I spent all day with him yesterday, kind of hanging out and just laughing and crying and loving and fellowshipping, and we'll talk
Yeah.
about a lot of that. So it was a full week, man.
Full
Really full week.
circle.
How
And
was yours?
and Jay is her wife. I mean her husband, I'm sorry.
Jay is her husband, who we've had on the show when we were
Right.
on Instagram,
The
and
car
you
Jay
weren't
the car
available.
guy.
So Jay the car guy, yes, exactly right. So
Mm.
they were the instruments of how I got up to the GVBC Good Vibes Breakfast Club situation up at Newcomb's Ranch, up Angeles Crest Highway, and they were the ones who really originated it. And as a result of, if you
Hmm.
saw the episode at all, Nicole having MS and them going later for this Hollywood runaround on a Friday, and they would just cut out and come up the mountain. And ultimately, so many people followed them up and wanted to be a part of what they were doing. And so now hundreds of cars go up every Friday morning. I'm going to go up tomorrow, actually, to see my
And
people.
is Friday the first Friday since she's passed, Phil?
No, last Friday was the first Friday,
Mm.
actually.
I bet that was quite a
And
gathering.
it was unbelievable. And I've put up a lot of videos if you go on my Instagram. And there was one where
I saw.
every car, other than the people who were filming, was honking its horn and revving its engine and just giving love. If you guys know about paddle outs here at the beach, people go out and on paddle boards, and they drop ashes of their loved ones, people who were connected to the ocean, in the water, and people who aren't, who just love to be around the water and want to be left there. They want their remains there. So this was very much that. It was a tribute to her. It was a tribute to Jay. It was a tribute to the whole GVBC Newcomb's Ranch vibe that we have going on. and every one of them were grief struck by her loss. So we carry on in her name, man, as we do with everybody else who we lose.
That's right. That's right. That's what we're supposed to
Mm.
do. I, Phil called me when this happened to him, and it's so hard to lose a friend, and that's why you weren't here last week because
Right.
of that. And crazy, this week I lost a friend. I mean, just crazy. 53 years old, really cool guy. He's a writer, and he's won many awards and short film festivals and other writing festivals. And I was going to direct one of his shorts that I really love. We were destined to talk. I got an email from him. Iona, when are you available? Because I was traveling. And the day I was going to get back to him, his aunt sent me an email and said, Roger's gone, Roger Cole. I was just like, that hit me very hard because it was so unexpected.
Right. That's shocking. That's the shocking part. Nicole had been sick for a while, so we were a bit on hospice watch. So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of a preparation you have for that process, but when it happens that quickly and that shockingly, out of nowhere,
I don't know
yeah, I'm
where.
sorry for your loss.
This terrible. And don't you think, even though it might have been hospice and everyone knows she's going to go, once that spirit is gone, it's just,
Brutal.
it's,
It's difficult because a light has been extinguished,
yeah.
and we cherish those lights. We need those lights. There's so much darkness and negativity, division in the world that we really require as much positivity and love as we can muster. And at the end, I think Nicole was all love. And I heard that she was a very tough customer. She was a PR agent for people like Tracy Morgan and Keith Robinson and a lot of comedians that were of very, very, very high caliber. And that's a very demanding job as a PR person to administer all of the care that people like myself need and other celebrities that require so much. I mean, you talk about going to the Hollywood parties and being out. Those people create it all. They're the ones they can't not go to the parties. They are the party. You know what I
Right,
mean? They're the
right.
ones who put that all in motion. So that's a lot of energy, and it's a lot of shit goes downhill and lands on them.
That's a
And
lot of strain in
so
life.
yeah, and I think at the end she was like, f this noise. Life's obviously too short. I'm dealing with something that supersedes all of this other stuff, no matter how important it seems to be at the time. This life takes precedent, and I think that's what we all learned, and that's what we all learn whenever, at least that's what I learned, whenever
Yeah,
one of us is taken or transitions, as it were.
yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, Phil. Life is too short, and I feel even as I get older, there are some things that were more important to me when I was younger, and there are things that aren't as important right now. Smelling the
Oh, no doubt,
roses, more
no doubt.
important. Relationships are particularly more important to me right now, and it just seems like even I think about every birthday, I go, how did I get here so fast?
Mm, mm,
You
mm.
know, it seems like when you're growing up, you're like, I can't wait to be 15. I can't wait to be in my 20s. I
Yeah,
can't wait to be.
yeah.
And then you get there and you keep going, and life just keeps roller coastering. And,
Yeah, sometimes it
well,
takes the loss of people for us to understand the perspective of life and that nothing's promised and tomorrow's not guaranteed. And I think we go along with that too much. We go along with the sense that tomorrow's going to happen and I know this conversation is going to continue. I'll be able to talk to you. No, 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 no. No, this is the moment. Honor this moment. Be present. Be with people. Hear them.
yeah,
Speak to them truths. Don't bullshit. I mean, if you're in a BS session, great. I like to have fun. I have fun a lot. But we're talking about moments where we must be considerate and listen to our people and know that this is a blessing and be grateful that we have these times together, just like these Thursdays. Be grateful that we have the ability to communicate and connect with one another.
yeah,
Again, because nothing's promised and can be taken like that.
yes, yes.
You know,
Well, I'm
with
Go ahead, honey. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I was just thinking with all the discord we have in the world, I think we forget that. We forget it. We think that, oh, we got all the time in the world to bitch, moan, and complain. And, I don't like anybody in this race. And I don't, this political process sucks and the government's terrible. And all I hear are complaints. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, I don't care if you support one side or the other,
Mm-mm.
but support them with a mind towards change
Right,
and bettering our
right,
situation
right,
as opposed to
right.
trying to just bitch and moan about the other side,
That's
you
right.
know? If that platform that you're behind holds no thing, you're supporting no thing.
Mm-hmm.
So try to support the platforms that help move us forward. And if that candidate supports that platform, so much the better. But again, don't make it a personality contest. Don't think that your complaining is really going to solve anything. It's not the answer.
Mm-mm.
You're just contributing to more of the service and difficulty
Mm-mm.
in the world.
And have an
So,
idea. It may not, you may not have a solution to what you need, but have an idea possibly of what you may want.
mhm.
I'm with you. People just, it's like empty complaints. You're complaining. Okay, so what can we do to fix it? I don't know. It's okay if you don't know, but have an idea of them what you want. Because the truth is, your complaining stops. Complaining does not move the needle forward,
Mhm.
doesn't
Mhm.
give us any answers. It doesn't even open up the mind to new solutions. And that is always an issue that I find with complaining. And sometimes, okay, so let's say it starts with the complaint, but let's take it further. Let's not just stay there. I don't like it. Well, why? What would you like to see differently? And yeah, I'm noticing that a lot with our political process. And Kolshu always has something to say right here. Kolsch says sometimes complaining can be misconstrued for speaking up.
Um, Context, I guess, is everything, right? Context is
Yeah.
everything. So, I mean, we know when it's a complaint and it's not meant for construction, but destruction, right? And I think that's the difference. And
It,
I think it's the
I think
hopefulness
that's
that
it.
I'm missing in a lot of the discourse. It's we've got to do this so that we don't get killed by the other side, basically metaphorically, as opposed to we've got to do this because it's the best for everyone, and that's what I kind of miss. And the more I lose people, the more I realize it is so silly how we deal with these things sometimes because we're not here for long, people. We're just
Mm-mm.
not. And that you think that your complaints or your ire or your upset about whatever it is going to move the needle. Rarely does it do that, and you just contribute to more of the negativity that on this planet that we live on, it's a brief one. So how do you want to
Right.
live it? You want to
Right.
live it, keep complaining, keep, you know, um, doing that thing, or do you want to contribute to this thing? And I just feel, and I think you can hear it in me. I feel confused by it, I'm frustrated. It's just I'd like more of us to take the position of, all right, I know I'm not feeling great, but I want to get out of this. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
continue it. You know.
Thank you. There, right there opens it up for discussion and a
Hmm.
possible solution, possible ideas toward a solution. Instead of just the complaint of something. I mean, and there are times when I have said to people where I'll just say one little thing. I'll say, I just want to say this, just a little bit on the side of blah 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 blah. Yeah, girl, I know, and I keep it moving. But I'm not really complaining as much as I'm saying I think that should be different. Let's just keep it moving. But it's not anything that's going to take us anywhere. And then there are people who call and they complain and they're complaining, and what are we supposed to gain from your conversation of complaining or putting down someone because they're not doing what you want them to do? Okay, I can buy that. What would you like to see happen?
Right. Right.
Is there
Right.
something you can add
Hmm.
so that it could change? Or turn off that television, change the channel in your life, do something different, get away from those people. And
And you remember a lot of your complaining is to underscore your upset. You just continue to justify your position as opposed to trying to get out of it. You know, And that's what a lot of it is. I was having a conversation the other day. Thanks you, Kolish. I appreciate that. Um, with some people over the Nicole situation, and they were complaining, and so I was listening, and then I would have either an answer to their complaint or a commensurate story to tell on my own, and then they would go right back to another situation that was like, oh yeah, well, what, blah 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 blah, and then I would say, right, and ultimately we got to, everybody got a story.
Everybody.
Everybody got something. I mean, everybody could got something they could lean on
That's
to
right.
keep them stuck and keep them in the place they're in.
And if
Is
you
that
want to
what we're
stay
going to do?
stuck, right, if you want to stay
Yeah.
stuck, just go ahead and just keep complaining and leave it
Keep
out
on.
there.
Keep on. And you'll find agreement. There's a lot of people want to be in that place because a lot of people in that place. It's hard to get out of. But don't you want to move forward? Don't you want to get better?
Yes.
Don't you want your relationships, like I was saying, to be better, your connections to be
Yes.
better? Well, just get clear of it. Um,
Right.
do that, as hard as that may be, because you could be wrong in your perception. There's energy there. Why is it still there? Why are you still angry? Why are you still sad? Why are you still upset? There's a reason you haven't cleared yourself of this energy, and it's no one else's responsibility but yours.
Right. And what is pushing your button to make you feel so
Mm-hmm.
upset?
Mm-hmm.
What is
Mm-hmm.
it? Is it really about whatever it is you're complaining about? Or is it about something else that is happening? Annette, let's see what you got to say, baby.
I love that. She's just complaining and speaking up generates conversation, but taking action generates change.
Come on, baby.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Your
Absolutely.
behavior tells everything. What you tell me can lead to a certain illumination, but what you do concretizes it. Let me say it again. What you tell me can lead to a certain illumination, a certain woo. But what you do, boom, sets it in stone and shows me. That's what walk the walk, right? Don't talk about it, be about it. That's what that all means. So yes, and that very, very, very real. Yes, thank you.
I
Thank you.
love
That's
that,
great.
Jeannie Greens. Yeah, I
Hmm.
love that because I do find that oftentimes when people are complaining, as we said, we're not moving forward, and there's something of anger that's in that for you that's unresolved. There have been things that are opened up in you about that situation, or as I had started to go into, or something else that's bothering you. So
Oh my
maybe
goodness.
you need to
Yes.
just sit back
Yes.
and go, let
Yes.
me look at me and see
Yes.
what it is that
Yeah.
I don't like, that I'm feeling, because complaining is negative. Staying in that place, it's negative,
It
and it's
just is.
darkness.
Yeah. Discussion's different. We're
Right.
talking about complaining. We're talking about the whining with that cheese, and you know what I mean? That's what we're talking about. Now,
Yeah.
as we talk on it, it gives me this other thought, which was as we were grieving last week for Nicole, and she was in hospice, and it wasn't good. And we were there and holding it down. Her parents came in from Rochester, New York. They were just beautiful, and I know that they had a difficult relationship. Here's what I want to say about that. We weren't there boo-hoo-hooing. We were there reveling in the memory and the love and the reason why we were all together. That they brought us together. Jay and Nicole brought all these people together from various and diverse backgrounds, and that's why we were there. Yes, we were losing a friend, and that's true, but we were there as a village, and we were all strong in it. And Jay, wanted for nothing. He didn't have to get a bite of food. We all brought it. He didn't have to get anything to drink. We brought it. The nurses and everything were there for Nicole, which was difficult for him because he'd been caring for her for a long, long time. So to give that away was very hard for him. However, my point is people were there to pick it up. People were there to pick up the slack. So that's what we should look to. We should
That's
look to
right.
when we are feeling in those tough places, in those dark places, to try to create and find a village that will create a fabric of support and love
That's
and
right.
understanding and acceptance. And then we can all go forward together and we can lift each other up, right? The tide lifts all boats. So that's what I also saw, was that through the grief and through the pain was this beautiful love and support and coming together, which if we all fell apart when hard times hit, that would never happen. So we really don't get the, we shouldn't take the right to fall apart literally. We
I'm with
should
you.
take it in the moment, do your thing, cry, and you'll have moments of crying. We do. My sister and I cry about our parents at intervals in our lives, but we don't live it that way. It hasn't sway. If it's swayed our thinking, it's to be better. It's to honor their memories. It's to be. Iona's working at Paramount Studios right now, and so that's what we can take away from grief. That's what we can take away from the difficulties of our lives.
Right.
Is that we're all in it together. So how do we make it through better when we get to the other
Hmm.
side, right?
Those challenging times. I've been with several girlfriends who are moving on, and the community of women come together. Not that
Mm-hmm.
men don't
Mm-hmm.
either, just happen to be in these
Mm-hmm. But that's your
situations,
experience. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? Of women coming together and bringing sustenance and libation for us to drink and eat. And some cry, but we celebrate that life and send them off. I think that when we lose people, the best thing we can do is live a good life.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend whose daughter, a friend whose sister's daughter, committed suicide over 20 years ago. She's still grieving. She lost her job. She can't move forward. He takes care of her in her house where she lives. And it's like, I understand that pain. And I don't want to, I'm not speaking ill of that pain. But are you really honoring that beautiful spirit by not living? You're here. Live by not being joyful. The time that's wasted in doing that. And it's not easy. Mine was, we lost Roger like that. I'll tell you, I know Roger from Zoom and from phone calls. Roger and I never met in person. I never met his wife. We've known each other almost a year now, talking about the craft of writing and what he's doing, and I followed him, and it's, you never, you can know somebody like that and they can still touch your heart.
Definitely.
Still
Definitely.
touch your heart. You just never. So, and the reason why I went that way, I realized I went off, is because I haven't spent that time with his family to grieve in that way with them. But I sent them a message, and I know now I will meet them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we just have to do the best we can and live well. K9 says, Kolsch, grieving doesn't leave us. It's just like stress, but we can manage and deal with it through living. We never forget the
That's
ones
great.
we love. We 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 never do. And David adds in there, whenever we lose a loved one, it's so very important to celebrate their lives and carry on with the positives that they brought into our lives. Yes.
Exactly. Exactly. The next day after Nicole had passed, which was on a Thursday, and we go up on Friday, which was brutal. It was a tough decision, but I made the decision because I'll be here for Jay forever. But I needed to drive up that Friday for her.
That's right.
And
That's
so
right.
I did. And in driving up, and this is to speak to what David's talking about. So remember, I know these people through the essence of this particular experience, right? Which is driving exotic cars and very nice cars up this road to a wonderfully idyllic location. And we just cohab and talk cars and life and all that stuff away from LA. 40 minutes, 50 minutes away from LA. It's beautiful. So what we chose to do was honor the experience by going up and doing exactly what we do every Friday. We didn't take it off. And I ultimately, all the time, not all the time, but many times I go up and I have very good friends up there who are incredible drivers. They drive incredible cars, but I never drive. Ironically, I'm never behind them when I'm going up the mountain. I'm always behind somebody I don't know, or some nondescript car that I've never met. And I never ever like my guys or my girls, my peeps. Never, never, really, rarely. Well, this time, of course, I come up on one of my very good friends, Derek Whitaker, who is a musician and he scores for television and film, and he's incredibly talented. And he drives this ridiculous 911 Carrera that we call Stupid Car because it's so loud and boisterous and funky and fast. And he's a real hot foot and just a great guy and super dry sense of humor. Lovely, lovely gentleman. But so here I am. I've just turned on to Angeles Crest at a certain point, and there he is in front of me. And I'm like, oh, that's wild. and he hits it. I mean, he's going. So I'm like, okay,
Let's go.
let's go. And Iona, I'm telling you, we going, and we're driving well, and we're driving pretty spiritedly, I would say. And the whole way up,
Oh,
it
she
has
was
to be
there.
15. Yes, that's what I'm saying. 15 miles. 15 miles of unadulterated road. We didn't see not one person but us. Not one. Nobody came one. Nobody came. Maybe one or two cars will come in the other direction, but nobody we had to pass. Nobody who got in our way. He and I are driving aggressively, and we're taking lines that are just beautiful. Never into oncoming traffic, ever, ever, ever. We're always very, very safe. And I know he doesn't know who I am because I'm driving my Porsche, a black Porsche. How many of those in the world? A billion. So I know he doesn't know it's me, and he's really, really quite a quick driver. And I was right with him the whole way. I got up there, and I just felt nothing's going to happen. She's with us. She means for us to be doing this very thing. And let's honor that, man. Let's go.
That's right.
And so we got
That's
up there. I got
right.
up there. I pulled up next to him because I had tinted windows. He had tinted windows. He didn't know it was. I knew it was, but he didn't know. He rolls down his window. He goes, I thought it was you. I thought it was you. I said, yeah, man. It was me. She was with us, dog. She was not going to let anything happen
Yeah.
to us.
Oh,
And so, whether that's true or it's not true, I love the energy that it gave me. I love the glow it filled me with. I love the special feeling that all of
yes.
that means to all of us when we honor
Yes.
our people in that way. And David Peterson, that's what I mean. We honor it, and Coach, we honor them through the living of it, through continuing the
That's
passions and the
right.
love and the support.
That's
So
right.
it's
And
pretty special
sharing their
stuff.
memory with others. And you guys all together, you could cry collectively and laugh
Mm.
collectively. And I bet it
Hmm.
was an spectacular morning, wasn't it?
Spectacular,
Mm-hmm.
completely packed, over
Mm-hmm.
200 cars. I mean, it was bananas. It
And the
was so bananas.
weather
And
was perfect.
there was a moment where this U.S. Forestry, we were parked everywhere. You could tow us and legitimately have it cased. I mean, we paying fines. You know what I mean? So one of the U.S. Forestry Service guys comes down in his truck and he puts on the blinkers. He's got his jacket on. He comes out and he's got the walk going. And he's going over to Jay, and I'm like, oh man, he's gonna tell us we got to move the cars. And oh no, and he goes up to Jay and he hugs him and he tells him how sorry he is for his loss, and that all of them, the Forestry Service and Caltrans and everybody, all the support systems and people that work up there on the mountain who know our group, were very sorry to have lost her as well. And it was so beautiful, Iona. I videotaped that, and it was just people. We got to get this thing right here.
Mm,
We got to start figuring
mm,
out love and connectivity and togetherness. That's all we got
that's
because we're
right.
gone quickly.
Oof.
And if you don't think so, you got an issue. You got too much hubris. You got too much ego. If you
Exactly.
think you're different because you're white or you're black or you're Republican or you're rich or you're poor or you're short or
Hmm.
you're that,
Whatever.
you got issues. We're all the same.
All the
Just trying to
same.
figure it out.
And that's why you got to find the love. Got to find the joy. Got to find the love. And it is not hard to find. I tell you, I have this exercise that I started doing decades ago, and
Let us in on it.
which was I'm having a bad day, having a bad day, being not that I had any drama in my life when I was younger,
Never. Never.
and having a bad day, and then I'm in the moment go smile, just smile, think happy thoughts, just smile. Well, but nothing's changed, right? But just smile, think happy thoughts, and before I would know it, I'm smiling and I'm happy, and whatever the stuff was that was going on isn't going on. Let's put it this way, it's not present and running me in that moment.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
And I really took a look at choice. What is my choice? Do I want to get angry, sad? What do I want to feel? And that's what was important to me about what my choice is and seeing that I can make choice to feel better. Now, does that mean that whatever the issue was, that it's gone away? No. But do I need to deal with it right now? Do I need to deal with it in that way? No. And it always made other things so much better. Patricia Pinkston, hey baby. So sorry to
Hey,
hear about your
Patricia.
losses this weekend. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
It
That
happens.
that that's just a little thing. And Jeannie says she does that too. Yeah, it works. I swear
It
it
works.
works. And
It works.
it's really wonderful because it's so easy to fall into the shadows of the valley, and
Mm.
it's even easier to get out once you practice it. Once you continue doing it, you'll find that you take a breath before you go there. I never just go there. I'm taking a breath to really look at the situation and how can I solve it instead of staying in a place of complaint and anger about something.
Powerlessness.
Powerlessness. That's right. That's right. And you know, Phil and I were talking about grief, and you guys, I looked up some articles I just want to share with you. I found this article, What is Grief Counseling? So if anyone out there is going through a mourning stage, grief of the loss of anything, I think this is really it was interesting to take a look at, so you know what that is. Here are a couple of different organizations I found where you can go online and find a counselor. Now, Phil and I aren't advocating these places, we don't know them, but I just want to go online for us just to be helpful in that way. If this is a starting point for you, go ahead and go there and see if there's something that you can gain from this. Um, Thanks, Ward, for your condolences. Okay, are you laughing at Annette? Okay, wait a
You
minute. I
see what
want
No, no, Jeannie. I'm with Jeannie.
okay,
Annette has a great quote.
okay.
I totally agree with that quote. But Jeannie
Well, I'm gonna
says,
put Jeannie here first, then I'm
Frown,
gonna come back.
frowning and pouting causes more wrinkles in my 61-year-old face that my
Don't need.
60-year-old face don't need. She ain't wrong. It takes a whole lot more to fuss, to frown and be pussy face
Yes, it does.
than
Yes, it
to
does.
be happy and smile. Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
What's this here
Uh,
Miss Annette is saying? I saw a
Purposes.
quote. Go
You
ahead,
read
Phil.
it.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Your purpose, I saw a quote. Your purpose is not the thing you do, it's the thing that happens to others when you do what you do. It's how you make people feel. It's the experience your energy leaves upon them. Yes, well, that's the resonance of your existence, but it all comes from self, and it's generated from what I was saying, which is to clear yourself of those thoughts, however you do it. I mean, she's doing it through a certain mantra, a certain repetition of phraseology, which is, my mother used to say it all the time: think warm thoughts, right? And,
Mm-hmm.
and that absolutely changes the mindset. But you're the one who has to do it. So
Right,
it
right,
has to land on you first.
right.
It has to resonate within you because it has to be
Mm-hmm.
truthful. It can't be BS. And then other people respond to that because they feel the truth in it. And we always respond to truth.
That's
And we
right.
always respond to lies. You know.
So many times people will, Patricia, love what you said. I'm gonna put your comment up in a second. So many times people go, my purpose. Oh my God, I gotta figure out what is my purpose. What is my purpose? And Annette, what you said, I really find interesting because it's really about doing something, doing something where you're giving of yourself to others. And within that is your purpose. Your purpose comes out. We talked about this even in work, Phil. When we've talked about auditioning now, it's not about going in there to go, oh, I want to get this job. What can you give me? It's about I'm bringing you something. I'm bringing you my talent. I'm bringing you what I've learned in this life. I'm bringing you my thing. I'm bringing you me in this moment. What you did this whole weekend, your purpose was major. I told Phil because he said he had about 40 girls and some of their parents there, and I said you're their bonus mom and dad. You and Carla. You've always been that way. That is part of the energy of Phil Morris and Carla Morris in their purpose on this planet. It's not one thing. And that's how you guys give. And they love it. I see them thriving. I see them coming to your house when they may not go to their parents' house to talk to you guys, which happened to
Yeah,
us at our house. People come and talk to
that's what we
dad and
saw.
mom. Exactly.
What we saw. what I know. But I'd be honest with you, and I think Annette's right to a degree. And to the degree I think she's right, it's that how it lands on others, and that our purpose is
Exactly.
then reflected
Yes.
through them. And I
Yes.
absolutely understand that. But the
Yeah.
purpose is fairly selfish. I wanted to raise good kids because I wanted to have good kids and I wanted them to be good on the planet. I like that people come to our house. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good to provide these things, um, certainly. And so, yeah, am I doing it for my daughter and mother? Yes, but I'm doing it because I know that that's going to make me feel good to do it for my daughter, right? I mean, it's
Exactly.
a it's a it's a cycle. It's chicken and egg. So I think it's a twofer,
I think
and
I do
and you
too.
have to,
Yeah. Go
right,
ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Sorry.
honor
I jumped
yourself,
in. Yeah.
honor yourself as
Yeah.
well as the
Yeah.
other people that are getting it. You're the
Yeah.
one providing it, and I haven't always done that. I've often always taken taken honor, taken the respect that other people give me, because you're raised with a certain amount of humility, and don't look at yourself, and so when people praise you or they give you those sorts of accolades, it's not always easy to accept them, but I do accept them now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we've worked hard for them.
We do things that make us feel good. Even though we say, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to go to this charity. I'm going to give to people." Because you're getting a lot from it too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're going to do this
Mm-hmm.
thing for your daughter, but you're getting a lot from it. I can't give and not be joyful about that.
Right.
I can't be a part
Joyful
of something
giving.
and not right. Can't be a part of something and not be drudgery is now doing homework when you don't feel like doing your homework. Okay, but you know what I'm saying in life. That's totally what she's saying. It's how we make people feel. And as we see the smiles on their faces, they are always mirroring back, reflecting back,
Mm-hmm.
and giving back to us. It's like you guys are. So, Phil, what Phil just said, I'm working at Paramount and on the Wayans show called Papa's House. It's really funny. You guys are going to love it when it comes out. And I'm coaching the two young people and two young kids, 5 and 7, and one of them is named Caleb. And I told the teacher, "Will you tell Caleb?" I said, "Bye bye. I love him. He did a great job, but I've got to get in." And that's where I am right now, you guys. I've got to get in my office and I got to do the show with Phil. And right before the show started, there's a knock at the door. And I'm like, "Yes, come on in." Because, I'm rushing to get things together. And his mom says he wanted to come and say bye to you. Now,
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
7 years old. And he wants to come and say bye. My purpose. That's part of it. And look how it reflects back. It's
Mm.
just, it's just so wonderful.
It's gratifying. It's gratifying because like Annette says, you're resonating because of his
Yes.
response, their response. Annette,
Yes.
Jeannie says, that's true, Phil, but I don't think it's selfish. So here's what I say about selfishness.
Oh, I hadn't,
Because
I
when I say
hadn't moved up.
selfish, it's all good. When I say selfish, people misconstrue that as, you're being
Bad.
egocentric, self-centered. No, we cannot help but be selfish. You can put a hyphen there if you want. Selfish, which is I am about self, and the things I do fill the soul of self, which I then can give the world, if that
Say
makes
that.
sense.
Wait. Say
The
that
things
again
that
now.
I do and I choose fill the soul of self, of myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I present that to the world. So that's the selfishness that I'm talking about. Not being selfish, not saying this is my way or the highway or it's my way or the only way and anything like that. It has to do only with the fact that without yourself, without the filter of you and your understanding of how you operate and what you want to contribute your energy to, what do you know to contribute? What do you have to contribute? So you have to give of yourself. You have to provide for yourself. And that's the selfishness I'm talking about. It's knowing yourself well enough to be able to give all of yourself to whatever it is that you're talking about, you want to give to. If you don't know it, if you're not providing for it, if you're not nutrifying and giving nutrients to yourself, you're giving hollow calories to people,
Woo!
spiritually
Come
or
on.
soulfully, if you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, I agree, Jeannie. I'm not saying be selfish at all unless selfishness works for you and it helps the world. I'm saying being selfish in the right way, in that you are providing for yourself, and then you have a full reservoir of goodies to sprinkle all
To
over this
everybody.
gosh darn universe.
On the plane. That's great, Phil. On the plane, I've had this example.
Love you, Jeannie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. I don't think it's. Jeannie says, that's true, Phil. But okay, it's the same thing.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we
Jeannie.
we, we went over
Let me
that.
get
Yeah,
rid
that's
of
same
it.
thing.
Sorry,
All
sorry,
good.
Jeannie. I thought
All
it was a
good.
new thing. I'm catching up. It's you're on the plane, and I used to think, oh, this is so selfish, and then, right, all the air's going out, and they drop down, and you're supposed to put the mask on you first before you put on anyone else. And I thought, oh, that's horrible, horrible. You should put on them first and then you. And then
How
it's
very
like,
Lee.
right, then it's like, okay, you put it on the kid and you fall out and you're dead. Now, who's going to take care of the kid? You put on you. Life is about taking care of yourself. Life is about being selfish in a good way. Not being selfish like, no, I'm sorry, you're thirsty? No, I don't have enough water to share. Now, that's unkind and very selfish. And then there was just, I am selfish about my grandson. When he comes over, I want to just hug him and I want him to spend some time with me. I'm selfish about the time that I have on Thursdays to come and be with you guys. Nobody messes with me on Thursday nights at 6 o'clock. You either felt, because this is our time to share. And Dad used to use that with conceited. Remember? Dad used to use that with conceited. He'd say, now, you could say conceited is a bad thing, or you could say conceited is about, it's not, being conceited is not about knowing you look good, you feel good, you like yourself, love yourself. He was really big on us doing that. Because when you do and you go out there into the world, you're a light. You're not doing anything necessarily, you're just living. You're a light. It illuminates without you putting it out there. It just is. So I'm with you. I get you too, Jeannie. I know what you mean. In the old
No,
paradigm of
totally.
what selfish is, but let's get a new paradigm on it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And Jeannie, you're not wrong, and I'm glad it hit you like that because that means you have a conscience.
That's right.
That means you have a conscience.
That's right.
And you wanted to make sure that we weren't in a place that was misconstruing the truth of the situation, and I appreciate that.
Keep
I
us
really
straight,
do
you
appreciate
guys.
that.
Keep us straight,
Absolutely,
you
we will.
guys.
And if we're not as clear as we need to be, we will clear it up for ourselves and for you.
That's right. And as a matter of Phil, you know what I have to say about that? Let me see if I
What?
got it. If I got it right.
Oh,
Oh shoot! I didn't turn it on. Wait a minute.
do
You
it.
guys. Okay, here it comes. Here it comes.
That's so late. That timing is so awful. We gotta figure it
There
out.
it is. There it is.
I gotta talk to our producers about this.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay. This is the
listen-
producer,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
here's
I'll be
Iona.
calling you afterwards. I want to talk to Iona Marie right now, not Iona Morris Jackson. Yeah, we're idiots, Jeannie. I know. We love you too, absolutely. Because we learn. That brings us to our next subject, really, which is that I had my daughter here with her people, and it was wonderful, and my son was here, and I was right. It's what we're about. It's what we do. But there are many levels to that support. Many levels to that support. It's not unconditional. I mean, it is unconditional in that you'll be there for them regardless. But it isn't unconditional in that I'll accept anything that you do or anything that you say. And so a lot of times we have to make sure that we are honest with one another and truthful with one another, even if it hurts our feelings, because the truth will out. And we don't want our people to be living in a place that's not truthful, that's compromising, that's difficult for them in the overall. As much as we love them and we want to support them and tell them how wonderful they are and give them kisses and hugs like Iona does with her grandson, there's a part of that we have to have. It's not necessarily tough love, but real love and real communication. And all of those things are on offer. And it's all situational. So the situation that I had with this weekend with my daughter is phenomenal. So it's easy. That's the easy stuff, right? That's the easy stuff to support and to go, you're so cool. And, I'm so happy to be your dad. And oh my God, my wife is so great. And she's helping everybody. We're such a sense and it's so beautiful. That's great stuff. And then there's the tough stuff, that you really have got to use the same muscles in a different way. So you're still going to use the love and the support and the care and the concern, but it might be a little tighter, and it might be a little more pragmatic and real. And those things are very important to know how to navigate and negotiate. Uh, it takes a big heart and a big acceptance to figure out some of these difficult times. It's not always
And
easy.
yeah, you've got to be willing to listen and receive. Know that people love you when they're having those frank conversations, and also to be able to take that breath and to have them on your own with others. I'm with you, Phil. That's so important as we sometimes see friends that are having a tough time or they're going down the wrong path of what we think, and to ask to be able to have that conversation is
Mm-hmm.
is so important, to be brave enough to do that, and then to also be brave enough to listen and go, okay, what is it that I can garner from this? And I think that's sometimes what happens in a lot of families is there's that complaining. Bring it back to something we were talking about earlier. That complaining, that anger, of this, that. Instead of, phew, first of all, I love you,
Why
but
don't
we
we
got to
start
talk about
there?
some things. Right, right. That completely just drops everything. Oh, drops all the walls that are up. What do you got to? I love
The
you.
mind
Oh,
stops the whole
oh,
thing. Yeah.
okay. I love you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just and speak to people with kindness. It also has to come from a place where you aren't ready to scream and holler. I never go into a conversation, you guys, without, pardon me, without thinking about what is the outcome that I want? What is it that I am looking to convey so that I can at least start from that point? Now, I can't gauge how another person's going to respond to me. So I'm not setting them up to a script for them to speak about these things. But what I am setting myself up is to have solutions and ideas in my own mind. So I'm not coming with complain this, blah, 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 blah. No, what is it that I'm looking for? How do I feel about that? What's going on with me? And it's not easy, but it is so much better than just willy nillying. Although sometimes you get in a willy nilly conversation when it just comes up and happens. But I think it
Yeah. You
depends on
can't.
how are you
Can't plan
living
that.
in your life. How are you living? If you're in a complaining place in your life, then things come up in anger and you kind of stay in that place. But if you're living in a place of where you're a solution person, where you're thinking of ideas about how to solve something or make things better, where you are in a joyful place most of the time, then when those things happen, it's not as fractured, I think.
Yeah. 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 You're more willing to hear then because there's not so much noise going on in your head. And here's a big one. Uh, know what your business is and what your business isn't.
Oh yeah.
Meaning, it's not my business to dictate how you accept my communication.
Stop controlling that.
You know what I mean? It's like, nor is it your business how I accept your communication.
Right.
You know, and that's where you have to be willing and accepting. Because if you're having the conversation just expecting them to go along with it, especially if it's a difficult one, then you're gonna be in for some heartache.
Right.
But if you go into it knowing that how they respond is not my business, my business is to be as truthful, as honest, as giving, as supportive, as loving. It may be tough. I may have to tell you some things you don't want to hear. I may have to hear some things I don't want to hear, and then we have to get into that. But if it comes from truth and it comes from love, like Iona says, start with "I love you." Start with I love you, right? But this is a conversation that has to be had, and we get into it. Iona and I did a series of seminars called Playground, and in it there was a moment where we always trying to be clear, and live in the moment, be present. That was the essence of it, joyous and play like you were children. Don't lose that. But there was a part of it where if you had discussions with somebody, especially who was in Playground, the summit workshops, and you're talking, and it starts to get heated, and they're like, well, they get a little bit animated and a little angry about it. The phrase was, well, where's the anger coming from?
Mm-hmm.
If you're so clear about the situation, why are you so hot? That's not clarity. That's an agenda. So there are those things to look at when we get into these very difficult, very sensitive areas, and it helps all of us to either try to look at each other through the other person's eyes, try to look at their experience through their eyes, because even if you're the person coming with the advice, with the answers to the problem this particular individual's having, do your best to see the situation through their perception, and then you know where they're coming from, whether you agree with it or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
But you give them the respect to hear them, then they feel heard, and then you can say or do the things that are the best for the truth of the situation, because we don't always know it. Obviously, we're not always thinking about it. Obviously, that's why we discuss it, that's why we discourse about it.
Mm-hmm.
So in that discussion, in those moments, we will hopefully find some truths that we can both agree to and move forward, as opposed to, I have my position, you have yours. I have my truth, you have yours. Well, that's not truth. Those are just positions.
Right.
So these are very nuanced
Right.
conversations that we're having right now, but there are things that we really need to consider as we go forward in life, especially when we're hit with tough things. The easy stuff handles itself, but the tough stuff, you have to give a little
Yeah.
bit more energy to.
Yeah. And Phil, of what you're saying, it's I find too that oftentimes in having a discussion that is tough to have and is pointed to someone else, I found within myself something that I need to look at. And I think if we remember, we are not perfect. Perfection lives in the dictionary, doesn't live in real life. If we can remember that, then we can stay open to. I'm coming to everybody's. Okay, he's laughing.
That's awesome, man. That was
Wait,
so good, though.
what?
Come on.
Oh, you're talking. Oh, I thought you were
That was
looking
great.
look at 81 JB. Then I was like, okay, what's he saying? What's he saying? But
I'm
yeah,
laughing at you.
okay, good. Oh, good. So
Your perception is great.
we can look. We can feel differently.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, but for the grace of, go
Go I.
I.
And
You
know that the
know,
tough stuff,
guys.
like I'm laughing about what I was saying, find do the best to find the humor. Do your best
Mm-hmm.
to find the joy in everything. Jay and I were watching, Jay Ryan and I, people that from GVBC who just lost his wife Nicole. Just go back in case people haven't heard. We're watching a video of the two of them. Some people, I don't want to say who it is. It's a beautiful documentary that some people are coming out with. Beautiful, beautiful, and
Mm.
all about their relationship and the whole start of GVBC, the whole thing. And it gets to the end, and it's really, 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 really amazing. And Nicole is saying something very profound, and I don't want to blow up for everybody. Very profound, and there's a little silence, and Jay says something at the end of it all, and I lost my shit. I'm crying, or not crying, but I'm tearing up prior to that. Then at the end of this thing, he says something in the documentary that just encapsulated the entire experience of their whole probably existence, which was, yes, we've gone through tragedy, but then there's this crazy humor that life brings us,
Yeah.
macabre sometimes though it may be.
Yeah.
And he found it in that moment at the end of that documentary. And at the end of it all, we were very emotional, like I said, and then I couldn't stop laughing. And he's laughing because I'm laughing because he goes, "You get it," and I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I
Right.
fucking get it.
Right. Right.
This life is crazy." And the more you look at it like realistically and seriously, the more you're going to be upset. If you get the joke of it and
That's
you
right.
see the temporary nature of this whole thing, and you appreciate those who are riding or dying with you, then you get it,
That's right.
Then you'll start laughing too.
This is great, Phil. Check this one out. Why don't you go for Soul Singer? What does Soul Singer say?
Oh, it's okay to agree. It's okay to agree to disagree, but do it with love, peace, and understand one's journey. We have all come from different places. Doesn't make one right or wrong.
Mm,
That's a
that's
beautiful sentiment.
Yes, my husband's big thing is we're going to agree to disagree. I'm like, okay,
Mm,
okay,
mm.
absolutely, absolutely. I'm with you, Phil. My dear friend Elaine Taylor, who died of
Ah, yes,
cancer.
yes, yes, yes.
Elaine was an elegant, light, beautiful woman. It was just so upsetting to for her to pass on. And at her funeral, this guy got up and he said, "Okay, I left Elaine, but the girl couldn't drive. So let me tell you about about driving right with Elaine. Oh my God! Oh my
Oh,
gosh!
oh, oh.
We were howling, just howling.
What everybody needed. What
That's just what
everybody needed.
everyone needed. Let me bring you back, 81 JB. So true. Find that one thing that
Oh,
makes you happy. Live, laugh, and love, and keep going. Encourage yourself. Encourage yourself.
encourage yourself is so good.
Like that one. I like it.
Oh, oh my goodness. I honestly say this all the time. If you could be your best, if you could be, you are the best cheerleader you have. You
Be
know
your best
yourself.
friend. That's
You know
right.
to appeal yourself. You know how you know what you do, up or down, in and out, black or white. You know, and if you don't know, guess what? Get excited about finding out. Get excited about figuring out who you are and what you want, where you going, what you doing, what you got passion for. If you don't
Mhm.
have it, you don't know it. And listen to yourself and be with yourself. Search yourself. What an incredible journey that would be for all of us. It takes a
Yeah.
lifetime to
A
learn just you.
lifetime. Oh my
Stop judging
gosh.
others.
Woo!
Just
Woo!
get inside step with yourself.
That's right. Come on now. Patricia Pinkston says, try to do everything with love. That's right, baby.
I'm gonna work on that because I kill a mosquito. I'm gonna try to do that with love. I really am. I just mosquitoes have they carry disease. That's just my only thing. The only thing I will kill is a mosquito.
I feel I am the greatest fly killer out there. Phew! I do it with love because I want my food to be clean of the fly poop.
Yeah, see, I'm doing it for society.
That's right. That's right. Making it a better place. Oh my God, that is so funny,
Hilarious.
honey.
You're so right. You're so right, Patricia. Oh, and oh man, what was I thinking? Oh, I'm just in this place now where I don't want sharp edges. I don't. I mean, if somebody is trying to cut me off in traffic, I literally let them. I used to get upset about it. You know, I drive a lot of fast cars. I'm like, you ain't gonna beat me. It's not that kind of party, people. That's
Mm-hmm.
not what it's not. They're not
Mm-hmm.
doing anything to you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're just trying to get from point A to point B. They may be doing it inartfully, awkwardly. It might
Right.
upset you because you have different opinions about how you should drive or whatever you're doing, but they're not doing it to you. I'm trying to take the personal out of a lot of stuff. You know, Iona?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, Phil, totally.
Mm.
Even the book, fabulous book, The Four Agreements. One of them
Yes.
is do one of the agreements is do not take anything personally. Yes, you can also be your worst enemy. That's why you need to
Yes.
support you. You have to support you. You have
No,
to be
you,
your
me.
best friend.
No, me. Me. Yeah, me.
Yeah,
Yeah, me.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Me.
You have to be. I was piggybacking what Phil said. Absolutely, Patricia Pink. Absolutely, we have to be our best friend. We have to. You cannot be the best friend to anybody else until you are your best friend. We really can't be at all. You can't love anyone else until you love you and forgive yourself for things that you have done in the past, for something you just did right now that didn't go over well. You're doing the best you can every single day. And if you're doing it with, as Patricia Pinkston says, with love, not everything's right. I may make a cake with love, and it could be the worst thing that I've ever made. I may make a dinner with love, it could be the worst, but you're doing it with love. So learn that recipe and do it differently. It's also the recipe of life. We are here to give joy, to love each other, right? We're not here to beat up on ourselves. That's crazy. Phil, have you found that with there are some people who will, um, oh shoot, I don't want to lose that thought who will they'll praise everyone else and then dog themselves.
No, it's not fair.
It's not
It's
fair.
not fair. And don't do it. The universe is listening. You know, all these little self sabotage moments.
Hmm.
It's not going nowhere. It's being
No.
resonant. Stop telling yourself to get your head out of your ass. Stop it.
Come on.
Stop saying that you're a big blankety blankety blank or a
I'm an
small blankety
asshole. I'm an
blankety blank.
asshole. I'm
Don't
so
no 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 no
stupid. I'm
no
so
no no
stupid. No,
no no.
no.
That doesn't work. That you're making it harder on yourself. And I get it. You feel emotional. You feel disappointed. That's okay. Just take the loss. Take the hit.
Mm,
We don't want to take the hit. We don't. We It makes us feel bad, and then we go about feeling worse because we're piling on ourselves.
right,
And so we must give
right.
ourselves the break and the benefit, like Iona said, of really feeling you're doing the best you can. As I say, if you don't feel that way, then that's the work. Then
That's right.
that's your work.
Come on. So that you
You
can be
know?
doing the best you can.
Yes.
Right.
Don't put yourself off to do the other things that you think are more important than you. How's that possible? So get right with yourself. Every Thursday we talk about this
Mm-hmm.
because we need it. I need it. I need to hear these words. I need to walk this walk. I need to understand what Iona's putting down, what Jeannie's putting down, what Patricia's putting down, K9. Everybody, all y'all people. We're a big village that helps each other. We're
Mm-hmm.
just moderators, but we need as much information and support and love and to give ourselves the okay to let go.
Mm-hmm. I love this that Jamaican Sue said. I put it up there, but it is through the cracks that the light enters. I love it. I love it.
And you can't shut it out. The light coming, the light
Mm,
coming. So
mm,
it wants to. You
mm-hmm,
know what I mean? It
mm-hmm,
wants to come. We're the ones blocking it. Light, it's just gonna go somewhere else. I deflect it off me. It's going over there. The light's not stopping.
mm-hmm,
It's us who
mm-mm.
stop it.
That's right. And the light has its own thing. And Patricia, how you treat others can be so different from how you treat yourself without that same kindness. That's very true, baby. And I really feel that we need to give kindness to ourselves because then once you know that kindness, going back to purpose of how you make people feel, then that kindness comes off of you as you're giving to others. It's going to be different in the way you say good morning. It's going to be different in the way you ask, "How are you?" And I think there's a stoicism,
Hmm.
right? There's a stoic. There is. I don't want to go there. There is a humbleness. Being humble is great, but there is a humbleness that loses that some of us lose the ability to see how great we are because then we're being humble. And being humble is almost like my shoulders are around it and no, it's okay. No, motherfucker, be a bad motherfucker. Be bad, be bold. And if you're doing it within your quietness, know that you are wonderful and love that. That is how you truly give out to the world. That is how you truly do. And that is how you truly make yourself feel good. Getting up with doubt about yourself, and then going out and smiling to people, your smile isn't really pure and true because you're doubting the most important person you know, the one you look in the mirror every day.
Hmm.
I have a friend who puts herself down. I really want to say to her, if you're so awful and unlovable, why would I want to be friends with you? Liking yourself makes it easier for others to like you. That is the truth, baby. What's Sweetie Pie's pain? Who told her that she was less than? That's where it is. It all begins on what we're, the filter we have of what we're given our information from our parents, from relatives, from kids when we're young. And even though as a conscious adult you can go, I have to be kinder to myself. If that stuff stays with you, you do not forgive those who did not know better, who tried to do the best they could, then it's going to be hard to get rid of it out of you. Just my thought. And sometimes when we look at a friend like that, we do want to say, how can you? But look at that person with compassion and grace and know that there's a part of them that's hurting inside for them to ever say that about themselves. So find a way to have the conversation without having the conversation. Tell them they look good. Tell them how you think about them. Tell them, isn't this wonderful? Isn't it wonderful we can talk about ourselves like that? I think it's great. Talk about how you grew up and see what happens. Because we can't always, sometimes, like Phil said, you need to know what's your business and what's not. Sometimes we can't meet people in that place because that's too tender, because that's deep, and that comes from other people. But we can show them how we feel about them and be an example of how we live our lives to them and see what happens with that. I'm with you, baby. I have friends like that, and that's hard. And sometimes I'll even say, don't you treat my friend like that. I love my friend. My friend is a great friend. And they laugh, but it stays in their minds. They think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the old adage, I don't want to join a club that would have me as a member, kind of thing. And that's self-defeating. Very self-defeating.
Absolutely. Oh, wow. We can choose to be negative or positive. And we also choose how to accept the day as it comes. If all you do is complain, negativity follows you. Spread happiness, but it starts within. That's right. It starts within.
Go ahead, Sweet.
I want to change the subject completely, you guys, because, look at this, a humbleness that can be self-destructive, right? So many beautiful things. So you guys, Phil and I have been talking, so check it out. Let me see if you guys will follow us, I'm hoping. It's what I texted you about earlier, Phil. So Phil and I are working, and we're starting to work on some sitcoms, and on Thursday nights, that's the first night of shooting without an audience. They shoot a lot of the scenes on those nights. And as some of you know who are here for the first show, Phil was like racing. He barely made it. It was great that he got there, but he barely made it. And I thought then, let me think about this. And then tonight, I just got here for us to do the show. So I text Phil, and as I'm waiting, I'm like, Phil, so check it out. So before we build this big audience that we're going to build together, and you guys are going to help us, I know, and Coach So is leading the way, we're thinking of changing till Tuesday nights, you guys. Because if we change to Tuesday night, then we're pretty much guaranteed in the sitcom world that we can make it. And then when there are nights, there will be nights when Phil won't make it or I won't make it, but then one of us will be there and we can do the show together. And there have been only once when either one of us could make it and we weren't there. So you guys, we're looking at Tuesday nights. And we're not going to start next Tuesday, but maybe in September when we have our big launch, which will pretty much be the same thing. We're going to go on Tuesdays. That still sounds good for you, Phil?
Sounds great. I think it's even better because when I do conventions and I'm gone from Thursday to Sunday, then I don't feel bad about leaving on Thursday or having to leave early to get somewhere to put up a camera and all that stuff. So it alleviates all that. And then Tuesday's great because if I don't fly back until Monday,
that's what I'm thinking.
Then Tuesday I'm cool.
Great.
And yeah, it's a perfect day for me. And hopefully everybody can find us, and hopefully they can all find us from the Switch, from Instagram as well. We're gonna have to figure a lot of this out and grow this audience so y'all can really share all this with us.
Yeah.
Tuesday's awesome.
Awesome. And that's what we're going to do. And as you know, look for my posts that I post on Instagram and Facebook. And then that'll be Wednesday mornings for you, David Peterson. Right on, baby. All good.
Perfection.
Because Dave's in Malaysia, right?
He is.
Yeah. Great,
He's
you
keeping it up.
guys. Love the response. That'll be wonderful. So Phil and I will talk amongst ourselves. And then we'll look at Tuesdays, and I'm kind of excited about that because, phew, it'll sure take the pressure off.
It'll take a lot of pressure off.
Yeah,
Boom.
take the pressure. So, hey, baby.
Yes, darling.
You feeling final words?
I am. I am. I'm gonna get up early tomorrow, drive up the
Me
mountain.
too.
So I want to get off, get some food, get some sleep. I don't have anything concrete to say. I usually always have something. Um, if you just feel like what I like about Thursdays is that we're in a very organic place, and I don't ever filter anything out ever. If I'm tired, I'm tired. If I'm not, if I'm excited, I'm excited. If I'm energetic, I'm energetic. If I'm contemplative, I'm contemplative, and I think right now I'm more contemplative than anything. We're very reflective, and I think when you lose people, you tend to be that way. You tend to ask yourself, what's it all about? What does it mean if somebody so beautiful and wonderful and giving can lose their life to a disease like MS or any of the horrible diseases that are out there or maladies that befall us?
Hmm.
We really take stock of what it's about. Take stock of how long we've got. What are we doing? Are we maximizing our lives? Are we living the passion that is in within all of us? And we all have it. You may not have discovered it yet. So let that be your journey. Don't waste anything. There is no guarantee. Nothing is promised. We say this a lot, but every time I lose somebody, it's more highlighted in my life. It's more underscored in my life. We have so much to give in this world that we live in and so little time to do it. And we have to get on with the business of living. I didn't make that up. Several people made that up before me. Or get on with the business of dying. And I ain't about that. Um, I have so many wonderful influences. I have so many amazing people around me. And with all of that, I know that it is me that perceives this world and perceives this journey. Nobody else. That's my business. That's what I was talking about earlier. And I want to take care of my business every day that I'm here. I wanted to work out today. Yeah, I just give a quick example. I wanted to work out today. You guys know I work out all the time. I have not been that consistent with my workouts. I really want to try to get to it. Something came up. I just couldn't work out. I had to do what I had to do. I had to get on the computer and handle some business. I had to handle some things at the house. I will work out. That will always be there for me. But when I handled the things that I had to handle, I felt awesome.
Hmm.
I felt like I was stepping up for myself. I wasn't backsliding. I wasn't putting something off that I needed to do now. And that made me feel as good as working out, I'll be honest with you. And so that's what I encourage myself and everybody to do. Check those boxes that are important for you to check and move forward in your life. You're the one who can make a difference and a change. And I think that's what I'm feeling right now. It's that this is in my hands, and it is my responsibility to live the very best life I can because it is quick, man. It is brief.
Hmm. Excuse me. That was beautiful, Phil. That was beautiful, and I want to piggyback on that of what you were saying. You know, you guys, Phil and I shared with you about two losses of friends in this week. And then he had the beautiful experience of being with his family, of his daughter coming in town, and all the kids they inspired in the volleyball and the food. And you know, it reminds me so much of our life is ups and downs. Our life is a flow. And in not controlling that flow is like the best going with the flow, being intentional. It's a short life. Complaining or being sad or, as Annette's friend does, putting yourself down. It's a waste of space. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of air. Inspire you first, and then you'll inspire others out there. Take a moment and enjoy life as much as you can. That's what we're here to do. My husband and I talk about all the time, we're workaholics, but we're enjoying life. It's what we love. And this was the piggyback because it left my mind for a moment on what Phil said. Phil's plan is, I got to work out. I got to work out. I got to work out. But there are things today he needed to do, work or housework, house maintenance or business maintenance, whatever it was. He didn't put himself down for, oh man, I didn't go and work out. I didn't work out. No. And he didn't rush to get through what he had to do. He was thorough in it, and he did it. We make plans of what our days are, and sometimes there are other things that come up. And then we get upset because we're not moving in that direction. No. It's not about you're not moving in that direction. There's something else that's come up that's more important right now. So when you do get to working out, it's more fulfilling, and it's even better because you're taking care of your business you need to take care of. Leading us back again of, don't mess with my good friend you. Don't put my good friend you down. No. You are wonderful. You are beautiful. You were the egg and the sperm that came together to make you. A whole bunch of others did not get made. That's pretty fantastic. So you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be doing what you're doing. And if you feel less than, take a look and see how you're operating. Not what people aren't acknowledging about you. How are you operating about appreciating you? Make that better and go out there in life and fulfill you and watch how you fulfill others. These Thursdays are so fantastic, you guys. It's just so wonderful for us all to be together with you all the time. And I want you to know where you can find Phil and I. Phil, I hope this shows up right. Let me see. Is it just going to be me? There it is.
There I am.
The picture was.
Oh, and I have to shout out. I did a Harvey Brownstone interview.
Oh,
with my man
yeah.
Harvey Brownstone. You got to check that out. Go check Harvey out. I'll try and post the link. He's everywhere, anywhere you find podcasts. It's Harvey Brownstone interviews. And it was just a wonderful interview, and we've gotten a lot of great responses. David Peterson, I think he saw it and listened to it. And yeah, it was great. So go check that out. We got a lot of stuff going on, people.
Hey.
Can't always talk about it all, but we got lots of stuff.
Give it to me and I will. Next time we get together, I'll put it up like this so people can make sure to go. Make a little card for it. And that's where you can find me, you know. Love for you to come on by. And this is the show's info. And now I get to add on here for next week that you can go to YouTube/@TheVisionIsPossible and get right to our channel. I'm so excited about that. This has been wonderful, Phil.
Always grateful.
Love you so much.
You too, darling.
Love you guys.
You guys have a great weekend. We will see you next week. Thanks for watching.
Absolutely. And you know, as I like to say, night, Philly.